Last week, Tony Blair called for a national debate on the place of Muslim culture in British society. This, amid the controversies ranging from the wearing of the veil to protests against comments made by the Pope. Tonight on Dispatches, we explore an argument that underlies much of the debate: the apparent conflict between the traditional British values of free speech and the demands of this country's Muslim population. Tonight we ask, is free speech under threat in Britain? The evidence is that the clash between freedom of speech and Muslim sensibilities is becoming a major fault line. We conducted our own survey for tonight's programme to test the opinion of the population as a whole. We asked if they agreed that people in Britain are afraid of speaking out on issues involving Muslims for fear of causing offence. 73% said they agreed. Only 18% disagreed. In Holland, a provocative film about women and Islam led to the murder 2 years ago of its director. And earlier this year, violent protests erupted over the publication of a series of cartoons in Denmark which satirized the Prophet Muhammad. Danish embassies in Syria and Lebanon were set on fire, and there were deaths in Nigeria, Libya, Pakistan and Afghanistan. At least 139 people died in the protests worldwide. In London and across Britain, angry demonstrators took to the streets. Then, last month, a speech by the Pope sparked protest again. Pope Benedict XVI quoted lines from a medieval emperor who had said that the Prophet Muhammad was the source of things only evil and inhuman. This again led to mass protests in many countries and was linked to the murder of a nun in Somalia. The Pope's representative swiftly apologized.
It was certainly not the intention of the Holy Father to offend the sensibilities of Muslim faithful.
Tonight, Dispatches will explore these issues with the help of two people with opposing views on freedom of speech. They'll be joined by some of the key people involved in some of the most significant flashpoints on this issue.
Freedom of speech is the bedrock of an open, democratic society, and it must include the right to offend anyone. Many people suggest that because we live in a plural society, so we need greater limits on free speech. I think the opposite is true. In a diverse society such as ours, it is both inevitable and important that people offend the sensibilities of others. Inevitable, because where different beliefs are deeply held, clashes are unavoidable, and we should deal with those clashes in the open rather than suppress them.
Blocked all the time. We have been desperate, asking for dialogue and debate. We have been marginalized, etc., etc.
You're not asking for respect. You're asking for obedience. You're saying that we, newspapers in Denmark, in this country, the rest of us, can only do what you think is acceptable.
No doubt that Jyllands-Posten is the biggest newspaper in Denmark. It was leading the anti-immigration and anti-Islamic propaganda campaign for almost 8 years, continuous years.
free speech, the type practiced by the Western media, really lose. The marginalization, the criminalization, and the demonization of a minority section of our population.